Okay, so I'm saying this because I know you probably really need to hear it. You have to stop stressing about how much hair you lose in the shower. Disgusting, but normal. If you're wondering why so much hair falls out when you wash and style your hair, and you're wondering if this is normal, if it can be fixed, what you can do, is this permanent, and what can I do to cope? That's what today's video is going to be all about. Please come sit. If you're new, I'm Mel. I'm your main girl. I am a hairstylist, a hair specialist, and a hair nerd when it comes to studying the science behind hair. Now, something else you should also know about me is I'm kind of a ham. I do love to make people laugh, but with a topic as serious as this, that is the most emotionally distressing concern that a lot of people have when it comes to their hair and their self-appearance. I want you to know that I'm making this video truly to help you have a little bit of peace of mind when it comes to your hair, and hopefully find some solutions to help you cope with your hair fall or your hair loss, whatever you may be dealing with. Because guess what? It's not just you. And I hate to bring this up, I really do, but because of the shitstorm of a year 2020 has been, there have been a lot of people noticing an increase in their hair loss over the last few months. But that being said, everyone loses hair for different reasons. There's a lot of things that can cause hair loss, and we're going to touch on all of these things today so you can be aware of maybe what could be triggering your hair loss and what we can do to help with that. So are you ready to stop stressing about your hair? Without further ado, let's get to it. You know, maybe we can start this video with like a fun game of true or false. You know, break the ice a little bit. It's going to be okay. So, true or false? Losing a whole ball of hair when you're washing is not normal. False, this is absolutely true. At least I hope it is. True or false? Brushing hair causes more fallout. False again, unless you are tugging and ripping at your hair, then that's a different situation. I guess it's a complicated answer, but we're gonna go with false. Actually, it could be very stimulating and great for the scalp, so carry on. Vero o falso? True or false? Curly hair sheds more than straight hair. This is false. It might look like it, but it's false. It's not true. Actually, we'll talk about why that kind of can look like it is, but no. And true or false? You cannot grow back the hair that you lose. This is absolutely false. There is hope. And I want to bring that to you today. I want to give you simple solutions that you can do right now, not sell you a product. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to sell you a product. I'm here to actually genuinely help you, hopefully give you a peace of mind, and help you through this devastating time of stressing out and being concerned over your hair loss. So let us begin, shall we? We're going to talk about hair fall versus hair loss. I use these two terms separately because they are different, and they're greatly misunderstood. So to understand if your hair fall is normal or if you are in fact experiencing hair loss, we need to learn and understand the natural cycles of the hair that cause normal shedding or hair fall. Hi, I'm Scientific Mel. I'm a pretty smarticle particle and I love to get into the nitty gritty. So hear me out. Mammals can shed hair for a number of reasons, but everyone does shed. It makes you feel like shit, but it's normal to shed. And here's why. The hairs on our head, arms, legs, the dark long hairs that we can see are called terminal hairs, unlike the little baby peach fuzz called vellus hairs that are surrounding our bodies that are much harder to see. Now, the real reason why we all lose hair is because it simply finishes its cycle of life. Actually, it's the growth cycle, not the life cycle. Anyways, I digress. Hair this. There are approximately 100,000 hair follicles on a human head of an adult. This number does vary, and it actually varies based on your hair color, but again, I digress. The thing about our hair follicles is that they are not consistently producing hair. However, each hair follicle is constantly cycling between three phases. There is the growth phase, scientifically known as anagen, and this little piggy is when the hair is in its growing cycle. At any given time on a healthy human scalp, 80 to 90% of our hair follicles are in the anagen growing phase, at which point it eventually cycles into the catagen phase, which is ironically a little in-between phase, you little piggy. It is a little transition period until the telogen phase. Now this little piggy is known as the resting phase. And well, when the hair transitions into telogen, the hair is shed from the head. Now normally, a little less than 10% of all hair follicles are in the telogen phase at a time. Now according to my calculations, on average, the entire growth cycle will repeat itself every 4 to 5 years. Which means what goes around comes around, and those hairs that were shed in telogen will go back to growing in anagen. So if you think about it, depending on the number of follicles on your head, for example, if you have high density hair, lots of hairs that are very thick and packed in, you can hardly see your scalp. I mean, you have a lot of follicles, which means you can probably expect more hair fall, meaning that some people will lose 50 strands of hair a day, and other people may lose 150 strands a day, and this number can also change. It's just the natural process of the scalp, which means that shedding is absolutely normal. And well, Mel, I hope that helped. Scientific Mel, out. Scientific Mel, yet again, that has been great. Thank you so much for educating us. I really feel this much smarter. Subscribe just for you. Like, comment as well. Now you might be sitting here going, I lose way more than 100 strands a day. Or what does 100 strands even look like? And here's the thing. When you rock your hair curly, I very highly doubt and hope that you are not detangling your hair every day. And your curls are like Velcro. Like they are holding on to everything that may be falling from the scalp, but not actually falling out until we finally do detangle our hair. And then it seems like we have all this hair coming out at once. So everyone's hairball is going to look different because there's a lot of factors you have to consider. 1, what is your hair texture? Are you fine, medium, or coarse? I have fine strands. Like I have my hairball right here. And I like to show you this so that you can get a comparison of like what could be normal. But this isn't all I lose. I actually am picking my hair as well. It's just a habit of mine. I play with my curls. I twirl them around my hands, especially when I'm nervous. Whereas coarse strands are thicker in size, like they're a thicker diameter. So altogether, the hair ball is gonna look denser. So I don't want you to compare your hairball to my hairball. Your hairball can also look much bigger if your hair is longer. Literally, think about it. If your hair is really, really long, when that strand comes out and you roll that up into a ball, it's gonna be much bigger than a short hair. And you're not losing the same number of strands every day. There's not an exact number. There's 97 strands that come out of your head every day. When the follicles are ready and they're in that resting stage, they will go when they need to go. So some days you could have a lot more hair fall and it could look really alarming compared to your last wash day that maybe you didn't have as much. But unless your hair fall is increasingly getting worse and worse, and it's at the point where you're actually noticing a difference on your scalp and in the fullness of your hair, then it's nothing to stress about. So please do me a favor and do not stress about your hairball that you pluck from your brush after detangling. Don't compare it to somebody else's. Even though I show you mine, it's not for you to compare yours to mine. It's just to let you know that I shed too. It is normal to shed, especially, even this time of year. Did you know that seasonal hair loss is a thing? Studies have shown that humans that live away from the equator, specifically in Northern Europe, I would like to also believe that this also occurs in North America, these people shed more hair in the fall than they do in the spring. Now this makes a lot of sense. We are mammals, and if you take a look at a lot of animals, they do shed their coats a few times a year as well. And that shed hair is probably due to hormonal changes in response to changes in daylight exposure. Hence, it's already dark. However, this hair loss should only be temporary. So again, if you're noticing an influx in, hair loss and a bigger hairball for just a short period of time, you really should be just fine. Arguably the worst thing you can do is stress about it. Where's my stress ball? Stress and hair loss. God damn it. As if stress wasn't stressful enough. This next segment will touch on abnormal hair loss, which has become increasingly popular Thank you, COVID-19. And when it comes to hair health, there are 3 different types of hair loss that are associated with high stress levels. The first one being alopecia areata. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune disorder in which the body's immune system attacks the hair follicles. This will cause hair loss that often appears in bald patches across the scalp or anywhere on the body where there is hair. There are a lot of factors that can cause alopecia areata, and severe stress is definitely one of them. In fact, my own main man, you guys may already know him. Remember Lucas when we did a video with him together? Yeah. And he actually has alopecia areata, and we've been dating for 3.5 years. And throughout these years, in times when he is in the most stress, whether it's work-related, home-related, whenever he is under significant stress, he gets little bald spots on his head. In his case, to cope with this, we have grown his hair out because his bald patches were never very large. But when I was giving him fades, you could definitely see where it was just a singular, completely bald patch. Again, these spots would come and go. His hair would grow back eventually, and it only flares up in times of stress. Now, another way stress can impact our hair health and actually cause hair loss is by triggering trichotillomania. Trichotillomania is a mental disorder, and it is known as the hair pulling disorder. This disorder will cause an irresistible urge for one to pull and pluck hairs from the scalp or the eyebrows or anywhere that there's hair on the body. Now, trichotillomania isn't just related to stress. Those people that are diagnosed with the disorder may pluck for many different reasons, and unfortunately, it's completely out of their control. Plucking hair from the root can traumatize the hair follicle, and this repeated trauma can cause infection, scarring, and possibly lead to permanent bald patches. Which means, unlike alopecia areata, these bald patches can be permanent. And finally, another very common cause for hair loss under stress is known as telogen effluvian. Telogen effluvian is a scalp disorder that is characterized by the thinning or shedding of the hair. Now, why does this sound familiar? Remember, the telogen phase is when our hair is in the resting phase. It is when it does get shed from our head. The word effluvian means to flow out, and it is used to describe excessive shedding during the hair phase. Significant stress can push a large amount of follicles into this resting state. And in this telogen phase, the telogen hairs are shed at an increased rate, more than the, on average, 125 strands a day. The scary part is telogen effluvian creeps up on you like this. And it could be when you least expect it. Well, actually, there's a long list of things that cause telogen effluvian. Major physical trauma like an accident, a surgery, and even abrupt hormonal changes that can be caused from childbirth. Postpartum alopecia is actually a form of telogen effluvian. Even menopause, even the start of birth control or other medications can cause telogen effluvian. Extreme weight loss, extreme weight gain, extreme changes in diet, either crash dieting or even major changes in dieting, like turning to veganism abruptly, can cause stress to your body. These changes can also lead to vitamin and mineral deficiencies. For example, iron deficiency is a major cause of hair fall. Vitamin D deficiency is another one. And it doesn't stop there. Having a weaker immune system makes you more prone to having illnesses such as a high fever, maybe even COVID-19, severe infection, or any other chronic illness. All of these factors can lead to telogen effluvian in some form. And then, did I mention stress? So please, I know it's easier said than done, but try not to stress. And hopefully this will make you feel better, because telogen effluvian has a very high success rate. It doesn't last forever. Thank God. Thank Jebus. Thank. Who do you want to thank? Thank whoever you need to thank. Most cases of telogen effluvian will run their course over 6 to maybe 9 months, and then eventually the follicles will go back into the anagen phase, and they will be growing once again, and eventually your hair will return back to its thickness. There are some cases where this condition can last longer, but if you can get to the bottom of what is causing it, getting to the bottom of what is causing your hair loss may just be the perfect solution for you to stop it. But it's really important to diagnose these things correctly. And this is why I never recommend just going out and maybe buying a product or taking supplements without the recommendation of your doctor, because you may be doing more harm than good. For example, having an influx of certain vitamins, not just deficiencies, but can also have negative effects on your hair health. So again, please unless you are a doctor, remember that you are not a doctor. And see a doctor so they can properly diagnose you. Now, besides all of that, there are other natural causes for hair loss. The most common type of hair loss being androgenic alopecia. This would be the genetic hair loss that we recognize as male pattern baldness and even female pattern baldness. This form of hair loss is a hereditary condition that occurs with aging. How do you get this gene? Some people say that it comes from your mom's dad's side. However, this isn't a tell-all sign. And it's a really big topic that I do want to cover in a separate video. It deserves its own video. So we will touch on that video at a later date. And I do hope to share some products that I am currently testing. So that is a video you can expect at a later date as part of this hair loss series playlist on this channel. And no matter what is triggering this hair loss for you, in the meantime, I want to share some styling tips to help you cope with your hair and hopefully have you appreciating what you do have. So here are some things that you can be doing right now to improve the health of your hair and your scalp. First and foremost, I always say a healthy, nourished body and mind will produce hair that shines. And as we discussed, diet is really important, so you want to make sure that your diet is as balanced as possible. This right here is a list of vitamins and nutrients that are essential for healthy hair growth. If you're already getting these in your diet, you should be great. And if you're not, I'm not a dietitian, but a dietitian or a nutritionist can help you with this. And then besides diet and physical health, there's of course mental health. So finding hobbies that help you deal with and manage your stress levels, finding someone that you can talk to, or maybe just finding time for yourself to relax and maybe watch your favorite YouTuber that you're subscribed to, that you look forward to watching each and every Texture Tuesday. Do these things for yourself that help you manage your stress levels and have a healthy body and mind. And then topically, scalp care is so important. The best practices for a healthy scalp would be stimulation, clarification, and nourishment. Stimulating your scalp by gently massaging, very gently is key if you're experiencing hair loss, but gently massaging your scalp, brushing through your hair from scalp to ends, again, very gently, will promote blood circulation and help to nourish your follicles. Now, you may or may not want to be doing this with an oil. There are lots of products and lots of people will claim that certain oils help to thicken the hair. And this part at least is true. If you have a very dry and dehydrated scalp, your hairs can literally be breaking from the root. And massaging with oils can help to nourish and soften the scalp and the hair. Jojoba oil is one of the best oils for skin because it is probably the closest to our natural sebum that our skin creates. So it's not like a foreign substance on our skin. A lot of people rely on castor oil. There are no proven studies that castor oil actually thickens the hair, but it can make the strands appear thicker as it is a very thick oil that will coat the strands. But in general, there isn't much proof that oils will actually help with hair growth. If you like it and it helps you while you're scalp massaging, then do it. But what I would say is much more important is proper cleansing. Cleansing the scalp when it needs it is the most important thing you can do to maintain the health of your scalp. This is why you should never only be using a co-wash or only be using a sulfate-free cleanser. Every once in a while, you really need a thorough deep cleanse, or maybe you need it more frequently. Everyone's scalp is different. But in particular, if you have an oily scalp, it is really important to cleanse that as often as needed. And finally, you want to nourish your scalp. Now, there are a lot of different topical treatments that are out there. Do they actually work? I am testing a few, and in our next hair loss video, I will share my reviews on some of these. Some styling tips to keep you feeling confident would first be to avoid styles like the one I'm wearing right now. Why? Because traction alopecia, a whole alopecia that we didn't even get into. No, but seriously, any tight styles that you are pulling and tugging on the scalp is best to be avoided. So try to stick to doing some loose styles that don't involve tugging and pulling at the hair. I will link some simple styles here that you can do that are very gentle on the hair. Also, avoid harsh parts in the hair, like a serious middle part or a straight line side part. These straight parts will expose much of your scalp, which when your hair is thinning is the last thing you want to be seen. So try styling the hair in a more organic parting, maybe zigzagging the hair a little bit. That way it camouflages your scalp and maybe your roots that need to be done like me. But exposed or not, especially in thinner hair, sunscreen is so important. If you are out under the sun in the daylight, either wear UPF protective clothing, a hat, or make sure you have sunscreen on your scalp. There are products made for the scalp and I will link them below. And if you're going out and you're feeling self-conscious about your hairline or your hair parting, grab some eyeshadow that is a similar color to your hair and just gently pat that in. Make sure you do wash it off, but if it's gonna help to give you a little confidence when you need it, then go for it. And maybe, just maybe, in the near future, consider getting a hair makeover. Shorter hair and blunt cut hairstyles always look really flattering on thin hair that can look straggly and also flat if it gets too long. And hot hairstylist tip here, adding blonde highlights can actually help to fatten and plump the strands. Obviously, bleach isn't healthy for the hair. I wouldn't recommend bleaching your scalp, but adding highlights that are off of the scalp can really help to add fullness and volume to the hair. Now, I know this video was a lot and maybe it also wasn't enough all at the same time, but I am actively creating the videos to add to this hair loss series to help you manage, cope, treat, and solve your hair loss problem. Let me know if you want to see the routine in which I have just explained, basically the scalp care, the styling techniques to get the fullness, the body, the bounce that you deserve. I hope it helped you out a little bit. If it did, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to see all the videos that we have coming for you. Please, okay, hold hands with me. You're gonna be okay. You are beautiful and resilient. Looks are only temporary. So enjoy them while you got them, but let's evolve, okay? We need to get past the outer shell and look deeper. Really, really deep. And give yourself a hug. Can we hug right now? There's literally nothing. But no, that's Mel. Personal space, okay? How about we shake hands? Thank you so much. You really want to know a hack for fine hair if you're struggling and you feel like your hair is thin? If you're taking a photo in a video and nobody's looking at the back of your head, just clip it up. Instant confidence. Amanda, I had to lock the door because you're canceled. I don't trust you. You're making me nervous. Oh, you brought me water. Okay, come in.
How am I supposed to come in?
Unlock the door.
How am I supposed to do that?
I thought you had like some kind of superpower. Aren't you a witch?
You want to see me become one?
Okay. Yeah, I'm prepared to talk a lot.
Don't talk a lot.
No. I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. 15-minute video, maybe 20. No more than 25 for sure.
No.
30 would be maximum.
What's up?
No, we're not gonna go that far. What?
20.
Ooh. Are you still watching? It's like, you know, when Netflix asks, are you still watching? Really, are you still watching? If you're still watching, let me know right now below. Yeah, quiet on set! All in this together. Okay, so then Scientific Mell is gonna go off! Lights, cameras, action. Go off. Cease, meese, see. Can we just actually take a moment to appreciate this little updo? What do you think? Updo or up don't? I feel really stylish and really cute. That's us being cuties as well. What? No. Get on track. You're doing great, but I'm hungry and I need a damn snack. Why is the door open? See, he is a very hairy man, but he's also a bald man sometimes. Little patches. Hey, babe. Hey, I just told the world that you have alopecia. I don't know how long I've been talking. Amanda, I don't know how long I have been talking. I don't know how long this video is now. I'm gonna have to call you. Oh my god, where are you? Amanda, we need to talk. Just say that one more time. We're gonna share an extra video actually sharing the techniques. But really quickly, I'll go over them. Okay. I'm done. I think I'm done. Come here. Because my eyeshadow also matches you.
We are all matching.
Yeah.
And I'm ringing.
Oh, wow. We are such sisters. We're matching even when we're not on camera. Hey, Amanda.
Ew, what's up?
I'm so sorry. That's what I have to say to you, Telogen effluvian.